Coming at you from our very own private Mardi Gras, this is the latest episode of Rage Across the Internet. Hey, I'm your host, Porter. To my left, we got producer Joey.
Hey, guys.
And the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Tyson. Danny?
Hey, everybody.
I gotta say,
Is it Fat Tuesday already?
Every day's Fat Tuesday. Never mind. Music.
You don't like our music?
I think I'm getting sick of the music.
Okay, you can get sick of the music. That's
Are you
fine.
just listening to our podcast way too many times?
I don't know. I'm not feeling it. We gotta do something about that, right? We can look into something else.
What would you suggest?
I don't know. We can figure something out.
I'm not paying for music.
Fine. That's not
No one asked you to.
right. Jumping to conclusions. I ain't doing it.
I like having the music at the beginning of the episode, though. I think it's pretty cool.
No, we want to keep music. I'm just getting kind of sick of this one.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So, if anybody wants to send us music,
That
I'm just throwing it out there.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have Danny write an original rap.
That's not gonna happen. Not original, at least.
I think I'd pay good money to not have to hear Danny rap.
Oh, how much are you willing to spend? Because I'll take your money.
We're gonna get into that later. You better be careful. You're gonna get yourself cased. Which, by the way, is the official term for when you put the pillowcase over someone's head and you take them with the baseball bat. We got that answer at casing.
Casey.
It's a little perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man. Oh, I feel so much better knowing there's a name for it.
It fits though, right? It's pretty good. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that came straight from our boy Billy.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, did it?
It did.
Awesome. Good job, Billy.
Right? Fucking perfect. Look at that. Look out for you, man. So yeah, we got a show today.
Yes,
I mean,
we do.
that's why we're talking into microphones.
You don't talk into microphones just because?
Well, yeah, but I have other hobbies and I'm not allowed to talk about them.
That's odd. Please don't expand.
Oh, I legally I can't.
Oh.
Also, I'm not allowed the Apple Store anymore.
Are you being recorded right now?
Yes.
Not from
Yes, we are being recorded right now.
Yeah, we actually intend for people to hear this. Holy shit. So, okay.
Someone do a bug sweep.
So, did you know that we have a website?
What?
You knew this. Pretend like you don't.
Well, she get hit in the head like an hour ago.
Oh. I mean, I know I had short-term memory loss, but if you really need to remember...
It might have been like a Flintstone scenario, you know?
Are you sure it wasn't a casing?
Well, if you don't remember, I'm certainly not going to enlighten you. But yeah, we have a website that apparently we want people to go to enough that we keep fucking talking about it.
I mean, that's the goal.
It is, we're building a thing. We want to help. We want your help to help, create a little archive of information to be a hub, a digital cairn, if you will, or get that community together, talk about the game. You can, hopefully find other people to play, to get a game together in your region. Character essay submissions, anything like that. We want to build something, and we need your help.
So, I like digital cairn. That's awesome.
Thank you. So you go through the bond. You don't need a hell of introduction. Just show on up, come to the website, help us out. And also word of mouth. I mean, obviously for the podcast at all, but fucking help.
Please.
Yep.
Please help.
Speaking of, we got that Amazon portal,
Yes.
which is super badass. If you're unaware, it's we got click the link on our homepage, and it'll pop you right over to Amazon, and whatever you buy, Amazon gives us a little taste at no cost to you. So it's a great way to help out the podcast, help keep us running, because this shit.
And, when you click that link and it pops you over to Amazon, just bookmark it.
Right? Then you won't even have to, yeah.
Because then you just go to your bookmarks, use that.
Same amount of clicks as before.
And
you'll be helping out the podcast by buying shit you were already going to buy at Amazon.
I mean, it's great. We use it.
We really do.
I know
Spend too much money on Amazon.
I know during this, shelter in place thing, the Amazon driver, they know where I live a lot.
Well, I'm sure that the package would tell them where you live. Otherwise, how are they going to get you your package?
Yeah.
Especially there.
But I have a picture of like boxes stacked outside my door, like up to the bottom of the window.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All ordered through the Amazon portal.
Hey, see, we're helping too. We're doing it too.
Go us.
Be kind of be like us. Like in a weird way, like in a help out the podcast way.
Yeah, don't be us in a weird way.
Yeah, we're already a collection of assholes. Don't be an asshole.
I don't even want to know what that looks like. I don't even want to know what we mean by "don't be like us" in a weird way, because I feel like it's going to go to extra weird. I don't even want to.
I think that's an episode in itself.
Don't dress up as us for Halloween. Like, that's weird.
Don't dress up like us at all. Fuck Halloween. I mean, that's an excuse at least. I don't just... It's Tuesday, I'm going to put on my Dan suit. What the fuck is
What?
that? See?
No, you're not.
I picked him.
I mean, there's enough of me to cover somebody else, but hey.
Yikes.
No!
Yikes.
Too far.
Oh, the line is way back there. You crossed it.
Yeah.
You just went sliding right past it.
So today, this collection of unbelievable goons, we're talking about creation, specifically in terms of the Wyrm versus the Weaver.
Who's the real threat?
Who is the real threat? And we did a little unique thing here. We had Danny read out straight from the book, so the company line, where Joey and I are taking the Weaver and Wyrm's perspective on that. And we're just gonna go and see what happens.
Yes.
I'm curious because, again, I only read W20, so these guys each have their own little take straight from the book, their own books, respectively, and we'll see who's the winner at the end. Is there a winner?
I don't think there's a winner.
I suspect we're all gonna lose.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the apocalypse.
So Danny, why don't you start us off? What the hell are we talking about?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we'll start, I guess, from the beginning of the Triad. And the short version, Gaia created her 3 special spirits.
Okay.
We'll go with that again, short version. The Weaver, who was all about order. The Wild, all about chaos. And the chaos to control that order. And then the Wyrm, who was all about destruction to balance out the other 2.
And now, to be clear, according to Werewolf 20, Gaia created the Triad.
Correct. Straight from the book.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that's what you read, not what you said. I kind of ran there.
Well, I mean, it was both. And I think, there might even be different takes on that throughout the Garou Nation, much less different takes and opinions on throughout, other players.
Well, I find it hard to believe that the Garou would ever disagree about something or get anything wrong. So.
It's crazy. They disagree?
What?
That doesn't track with me, personally. And, yeah. So, please go on. You were in the middle of a thing.
No, I mean, that's short version. There's not much else to say except that the Wyrm was probably created last, and it was to balance out the other 2. And now if we're going who's the real threat, it's, the whole creation story was Weaver gets a little too ambitious, maybe even a little go with jealousy, that the Wyrm is taking away all their shit, going a little too hard on them. So the Weaver captures the Wyrm, and imprisoning the Wyrm slowly goes insane. And kind of history from there.
Okay. So, I read the book of the Weaver. And it had a slightly different take on it.
Which I would imagine it would. And I'm sure Wyrm's going to have a little bit different take than that.
So let's hear about how this isn't the Weaver's fault at all. How's the Weaver the victim in this?
The Weaver is the victim because
Oh shit.
she was driven insane. Her brain shattered. She is a perfectionist. She wants things a certain way.
Makes sense. I mean, they
And-
say patterns a lot.
And order and stability
Right.
and stasis. And she's, she's an independent woman. She wants her stuff her way and do not mess with it. And she's got these two goons just constantly fucking with her. Imagine if somebody came into your house and just tossed it. Wouldn't you be a little mad?
Well, of course, but that's not...
That's the Wild.
Right.
No, that's the Wild.
And then you got another goon who breaks in and takes a baseball bat to everything you own.
After you just got done fixing it from when the Wild tossed it.
I mean, yeah, of course I'd be upset.
And if this kept happening day after day after day, no matter what you did, you'd kind of lose your shit.
Well, so would anybody.
So why is the Weaver the bad girl? Because she just lost it?
I was going to say daddy issues, but
Mm-hmm.
Dude. Dude. No.
it's not that he didn't love her. He just didn't
not-
like his job.
Shit.
Oh.
Hey, you're the one who called her a girl. Who said it was a girl?
The lore.
The lore? Okay, well,
Just-
that's the answer. That's what I was looking for. Again, I read this short, very brief spot.
Weaver is always referred to as a she.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
well, now I know.
And I mean, it's not necessarily true because we're talking essentially about...
A Celestine spirit.
Right, so it's...
It
Who fucking wants to be, largely. But
Basically,
that's
yeah.
how,
And I mean, in the book, she's referred to as the matron aunt who dotes on children who aren't hers.
That's
And
an odd way to put it, but it makes sense.
right, like it's that crazy aunt who hands out candy, and you're like, oh, maybe she's a little dangerous.
because the candy's poison and you're in her web and now everything's terrible.
Yeah.
Unless there's puppies.
Oh, there's not puppies. No.
Well, it'd be like those robot puppies. Like those
Robot
kid
puppies.
toys.
Yes. Robot
What were
puppies
they?
are right up her alley.
What were they called?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know.
Like Rover 2.0 or some shit? I don't know.
We'll go with
I
that.
have no idea. But there's the toy puppies, like the Furby,
But
but a puppy.
Weaver is not malicious nor benevolent.
But they imprisoned the worm.
She
Okay, she.
is merely unyielding. She imprisoned the worm because she tried to first imprison the Wild.
That ain't gonna work.
No,
Oh, definitely.
It
I mean,
really.
that's why they say chaos.
She couldn't. She couldn't hold up. She tried.
Well, sure, but you can't contain what doesn't have a form.
Exactly. It slipped right through.
Kind of the Wild's jam.
It slipped right through her net. So she then set her focus on the worm and was able to capture the worm.
Now, so in this scenario, right, it sounds a lot like the Weaver is very Wile E. Coyotean.
Very.
And so that makes the Wild the Roadrunner.
Yes.
Never being caught.
And so is the worm like the tunnel painted on the side of the canyon, or
The Acme box.
how are you gonna work this into this metaphor that I just came up with?
I think the worm is the TNT
Okay.
because it blows up and it causes destruction.
Okay. Now, interesting that, because the worm, as it stands currently, is a force of corruption,
Yes.
entropy, and decay. But it's also so powerful. It's so vast, like all of the Triad, honestly. That to talk about their motives, you
It's
can't really,
super hard.
right? Like, you talk about the worm. The best I could say is it wants to corrupt everything, and it would be like irresponsible to even try to wrap my stupid monkey brain around anything beyond that. And that's not just my stupid monkey. My monkey brain might be stupid, but it's like a decent stupid monkey brain. I'm talking about everybody's stupid monkey brains. I just want to say stupid monkey brain a lot.
That's
okay.
fine.
It's kind of like the nature worshipping murder cult. Like, how many times can you get that out before you fuck it up?
Never.
Yeah.
And what was it, 3, 4 times?
It was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It was fun to do, though.
It really was.
But yeah, you know, like, I know you got a shit ton more about the Weaver.
Oh, yeah.
But we're getting there. You know, from the Wyrm's perspective, you know, it's pretty well, it's closer to Danny's. You know, and I mean, we're not really contradicting ourselves here. You know, you get the wild, obviously, creation, you know, generating matter, energy, you know, multitude of things without names, without, you know, just energy and creation.
Oh, things without names. Oh.
And then, yeah, then the Weaver imposes that order. You know, it creates, it takes that essence and that nothing, that energy, and then turns it into shit.
Names things.
Yeah, it gives structure to the wild's creation. You know, table, lamp, Tuesday, carrot top. All the Weaver's doing.
Clocks.
Just, what the hell?
And
Bah, 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 bah. Give that a name.
Nonsense.
Exactly.
and so, of course, the Wyrm. The original purpose of the Wyrm was balance. You know, keeping that circle of life, Simba. You know, things are born, they're given form, they die. This is how the world is supposed to work. This is how everything is supposed to work. You know, good on the Wyrm. But
Until.
Balance is corrupt.
no,
Yes.
listen. There's time for your Kool-Aid in a minute.
Ooh, we get Kool-Aid?
We're talking about what happened. You need to look up Jonestown later. All right, you need to go to school. So.
I know where Jonestown was. I was just excited for Kool-Aid.
Oh.
So-
Just wait. There
so
will
the-
be an ice cream truck that comes by later.
So the
Yes!
Weaver went mad, much like I think I'm fucking about to. My God. You know, who, yes, in turn captured the Wyrm, who went mad. I mean, we're in agreement here. So good night, everybody.
All right, well,
That was not the spirited debate I was looking for. That's,
Yeah.
we all agree.
18 minutes.
I said about 20.
You
I said I
really
would be
did?
what the hell?
And we had filler bullshit. You know? We took our time.
We really did, because I got pages and pages of Kool-Aid.
I'm so excited.
Don't be. It's the sugar-free kind, honey.
Oh,
What's the point of that? Isn't Kool-Aid just sugar?
yes.
You have just empty packets?
Well, no. I mean, there's artificial dyes and.
I want artificial dyes right now.
Oh God.
So, okay. We all agree. There's no debate here. There's no argument over what happened.
Right.
So what are we doing?
We're
which is-
keeping the lights on and the ice cream frozen because the Weaver is awesome.
Is it?
Yes.
In by which sense so
Yeah, by what
is the
standard?
wild?
Because I think the Wild would disagree. I think the Wyrm would disagree. I think Danny and I would disagree. I think the Garrow Nation would disagree.
Well,
Except for the
okay.
Glasswalkers. But they're busy playing Call of Duty, so they can't have this debate.
They're practicing.
No, they are busy adding to the digital web.
Right. Which is a problem.
Well, maybe not.
Why not? Look at that. We didn't even plan that shit.
No, I mean, the Weaver wants a perfect world. She's a perfectionist. She wants a perfect world. I don't see a problem with that. Me, producer Joey.
Well, why does me, producer Joey, think stasis is perfect?
I think once you reach the level of perfection, there is no place to go except for imperfection. And so therefore, once you get to perfection, okay, you just stay there.
But perfection, what is perfection?
That is the problem. That's my problem. I mean, I don't know. But again, I'm just a stupid monkey.
Well, like, I mean, according to the Weaver, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the death of emotion. I mean, you talk about stasis, and I'm going to float this fucking argument out of here, Jesus. You know, the blooming of a flower. A flower at its full bloom is theoretically beautiful.
Right.
But that growth and change would be naturally opposed to the weaver, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
That growth and change. Ooh. Oh, that's bad.
So even going a little step further rather than the flower, but how about evolution?
Oh, nope. I have a quote. The controlled dance of evolution represents too much messiness.
But if it's always so what you're saying is because it's always evolving, it's too messy, but we need it to constantly evolve so we can keep it going.
No, we don't need. No. Living species are unruly at best, always mutating all over the place, never staying the same for more than a few million years at a time, with very few exceptions.
Interesting.
So it's unruly, it's messy. When you get your house clean, you want it to stay clean.
But ideally, you want your house clean so you have a nice place to live, to interact, to live a life, to have experiences, which are things, again, that the weaver frowns upon. You know, if the worm, and mind you, the worm has been taken off of its purpose. Its purpose has been twisted. We use twisted. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, you know, as we established that the worm was a force of balance. And is now a force of corruption, you know.
Balance is corruption.
It's not the same thing. And
depends on your setting, I guess, but
you know, and this is something, is, you know, a lot happened to the worm in the weaver's webs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the worm did go mad, you know, and that created the Hydra. You know, as worm lashed out, these other heads grew through the spaces in the web. I mean, that's where we get the Eater of Souls, the Beast of War, you know, and the Defiler Worm, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, and those are heads that aren't working together. They have their own agendas, and sometimes it crosses, sometimes it doesn't. And even then, it you know,
but all the same goal in mind.
But not
generalized goal.
But here's the thing: as this happened, the worm kind of it was getting clever, it's getting cute, because it's still, I mean, going mad, but still wanted to accomplish its original goal, which is kind of how it changed the method. You know, stuck in this webs, you know, it's unable to devour anywhere near like it could before. So the worm instead learns to bend and twist the weaver's webs, using it to spread corruption. You know, this is instead of destroying something outright. So the worm could twist it. You know, I can't eat the thing. I can fuck with it though, and yes. I could corrupt it so that the target would corrupt stuff around it, and eventually it would all destroy itself. It's kind of still trying to keep its purpose, but now it's not. So it's doing it just, you know, wrong. It's become a little bit of a mockery of itself.
That's a weird way to put it, but it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it does follow a sort of logic.
Yeah, and you know, in the Weaver book, it does say that the worm is trapped in the webs, and he can direct and corrupt Weaver things.
Yeah.
From those webs.
Well, now at that point, look no further than the Scar.
Yes.
Yeah, we got an Umbral Realm all about the worm corrupting Weaver shit. Take that, asshole.
So, if the worm can corrupt things around itself in the middle of the Weaver's webs, yet the Weaver continues to hold them hostage.
Well, it's better than letting him go and run roughshod over everything.
And at this point, what does that look like? Letting the worm go.
I mean, having a world run by the Weaver is a heck of a lot better than having a world run by the worm.
Do we know that?
I would say no.
I think you get points on both sides.
Well, I think the worm as it stands today, all right, as the Hydra. The big three, the Meljan Incarna, the Urges, all that, the whole fucking shebang. Just getting let go, everything ends. Everything ends. The Wyrm just puts the screws to it all, game over. The Weaver takes over, I think everything stops. And I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But
The world run by the Weaver would
it'd be
be
stasis.
well, eventually, but it would be like a theme park.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it
I
would.
don't know. It's
Everything would be immaculately cleaned. There would be high.
Have you been to a theme park?
yeah, that's
Because you're already talking out your ass.
That's not even close.
It would be like, Disneyland. Everything would run on time. Everything would run like clockwork.
And there would be no joy, and there would be no feeling or really independent thought, or everything would just be frozen.
Everything
calcified in the
would
lab.
run the way it's supposed to. The people would sing the songs that they need to sing.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes.
See?
Because that would be expression.
As long as it's, the company line song.
101, 10, the one song, perhaps.
The one song, yes.
Forever and ever.
You haven't heard of one song, have you?
The one song.
No, I'm not.
That's how Weaver communicates. And it's hypnotic.
My head hurts.
Stop that. You're messing with the levels.
In my head.
My bad.
But
Just
yeah.
give an example of the one song, though.
Yeah, the one song, it's hypnotic. And it draws you deeper and deeper in.
So is that how it entrapped Wyrm?
Could be. I don't know. I'm not a Celestine. I don't know how that happened.
We were not there.
Okay. It was curiosity.
But I did find it fascinating that the Weaver has equivalent to Fomori.
Oh, drones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat. So.
And the Wild's got the Gorgons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's also the Kami. But that's not why we're here.
No.
We're way off topic on that one then.
Not way off.
Okay, we're a little. Fine.
But, okay.
We're like deliberately not discussing the Wild, though.
So, beavers building dams. Is that a good thing? Is that...
Depending on the location of the dam?
Yeah, there's a lot of meat to that, yeah.
So, beehives.
Depending on the location of the beehive?
Not near your house, not near your front door.
Thank God I hate bees.
Bees are endangered. They need to be protected.
Then stop stinging me, assholes.
But, like, those things, are those awful and bad and need to be destroyed?
Go ahead.
No, I can't answer because then I'm an asshole.
So he's going to say yes. So maybe he should take the Weaver side here.
Only
Or the Wyrm side.
the only ones that should are the ones who sting me. How about that?
Well, the bees who do sting you do die, so...
'Cause
Good.
that's how bees work.
Bully.
Do you get stung by bees often?
No, actually, I've never been stung by a bee.
Oh my god.
Danny has never killed a bee.
Welcome to Bee Chat.
But those are examples of the Weaver at work.
To an extent.
They're engineering marvels. It's not just pure chaos.
No, it's not, but it's also nature, and that's not so much the Weaver's jam.
But the order and the precision.
Which, yes, the Weaver has infected nature
Infected.
with its jacasserie.
No, not infected.
The concept of time.
Yes, the concept of time.
Weaver trash.
I beg to differ.
In a pretty... Aren't I in the Wyrm here?
Yes.
Man. Okay.
You are the Wyrm.
I'm just holding different arguments all over the place.
I know.
But I mean, I guess the point isn't, I'm not so much an advocate for the Wyrm here, is what's the real threat? And I think the Weaver is definitely the greater threat, because you look at something like that, you look at the influence it's had over humanity. I mean, forget the rest of nature, but humanity alone, and you can't honestly sit here and tell me that humanity is not a problem in the world of darkness as things stand. That is ridiculous.
The Weaver gave 3 gifts to humanity: dogma, science, and technology.
I don't want to say the prosecution rests, but the damage that humanity has done with those things. Look, the Wyrm's hands ain't clean, but they certainly would be if not for the Weaver.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Okay, so the 3 seeds that the Weaver gave to humanity, dogma, that's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
She hoped to encourage a systematic discovery of facts about the Umbra without the interference from Guru, so that humans could experience the Umbra for themselves.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm the asshole here. But the Weaver created the gauntlet.
When her mind snapped.
Which predates humanity.
But she gave them the gift of dogma. So that
to learn about the things she cut them off from, because it was too unpredictable and uncontrollable. We had to sever the spirit, the connection. What are you talking about?
But the dogma would give them a way to experience it and to name things and to be able to quantify and discover the Umbra. And
Which she cut them off from.
By naming it, it can be organized.
I don't know. Isn't that a little, not a lot, but a little bit like me slashing your tires and then giving you a ride to the store?
Yes.
I mean, am I off my nut on this one?
Dude, I've already said she's batshit crazy. Okay?
Yes.
She's the crazy ex-girlfriend that nobody wants. I've already said that.
I'm just... Go on.
All right, seed number 2 then.
Yeah.
Seed number 2, science. Science does not calcify reality. It only exposes what has already been there. So it's a tool of self-discovery.
Discovery, which...
leads to naming and quantifying and patterns.
Well, and but I mean, you're acting like these are, look at these wonderful gifts I've given humanity, and not like, look at the tools I've given you to make me stronger.
They're fantastic gifts to humanity. Without science...
I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just curious.
Without science...
The wild would be stronger, and maybe the Garu wouldn't be needed right now.
And we wouldn't have, medicine.
Well, okay, who gives a shit?
I do. Me.
But see, you, Producer Joey, and more to the point, a version of Producer Joey in the world of darkness.
Right.
Because that's what we're doing.
We're all in the world of darkness,
right.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
We're talking on a cosmic scale. And if we're not talking about a cosmic scale, we're talking from the perspective of the Garu. So again, who gives a shit about your medicine?
The Weaver?
But I think that's...
the true enemy.
Yeah, I think that's the point, though. Or, I take it back. I think that's Porter's point. Again, I don't have a dog in this fight.
You're just kind of sitting back enjoying this.
I'm absolutely enjoying this. But I have a question, and I'm going to wait till you give seed number 3.
Oh, seed number 3.
Spill that seed.
You definitely...
Ew! Phrasing.
You said there was 3, so...
Technology is the 3rd gift she gave to humanity.
Which I think is Porter's just probably going to make the same counterpoint for what they had for science.
Technology has had the most profound effect on humanity. It's allowed humanity to shape the world to suit them, to extend life, to increase population, and to impose order on society and nature. Food technology, plows, has led to city building, reading, writing, bureaucracies, and laws.
Which have led to the further destruction and desecration of Gaia. Boom roasted. I don't even feel like I have to say more than that.
But, I mean, it's allowed people to thrive.
Can I go back to who gives a shit? I mean, humanity post-Impergium, during the War of Rage, managed to do okay, and granted, the Weaver's influence is what created a problem, because suddenly, hey, look, it's, we get castles, and let's rip up this shit, let's rip up this nature, this is dumb, let's get rid of the nature, because I want like a Nintendo, I need Arby's, so we can't have this forest, because I need a bacon cheddar.
That's on you. You need a bacon cheddar.
Yes, I
Sounds
do.
good, doesn't it?
Yes, I do.
Not sponsored. Right. Or are you kidding?
One thing I did find interesting in the Book of the Weaver, there is a theory floated out there that Turtle is calcified in her web.
Elaborate on that. That is... Elaborate on that. I'm going to shut up.
Turtle, the totem of the Croatoan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm well fucking aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
Explain yourself.
it's just a theory that, Turtle got too close to her inner sanctum and got calcified in her pattern.
That's the theory?
Yeah.
That's all of it.
That's all of it. They don't have much because anybody who gets that close, doesn't come back.
Yeah, that's dumb.
right.
So,
That didn't happen. That's really stupid.
what do you mean?
It's an interesting thought, though. I mean, it's
I
something.
don't know that it is.
It would explain a lot. Do you think Turtle evolved like Pikachu? I mean, what do you think happened to Turtle?
Okay, I see what you did there, but it doesn't apply.
Ring that button.
Yeah. It's been a week. People forgot about that
It may have been longer than that.
shit. Yeah, right, it might have. You don't know when this is going to air. This is all fucking... No,
It's future people.
no, it doesn't make any sense.
And why not?
Well, because, again, Turtle was the tribal totem of the Croton. Mm-hmm. I know you had the extra to it.
Yeah.
It's not the point. It's all over the place in, history, but that's not the name of the damn
I
tribe.
know.
I'm not busting your balls. I'm just clarifying why we're both saying it differently.
And I can't control it.
It's-
It's a reflex.
Not busting the balls. Just, Anyway, the Croatan sacrificed themselves to the last to banish the Eater of Souls.
Correct.
Right.
Again, part of the triadic worm. Now, at that point, the totem vanished. The
Yeah.
fuck does any of that have to do with the Weaver? But you know what I mean? I believe you read it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that's a really dumb theory. Because it's kind of like going, what if fish are secretly birds in a costume?
Oh my god, that's awesome.
What?
Thank you, Danny. You can't just say dumb shit and call it a theory.
I
mean-
love that theory though.
And again, if we're going theories,
That's
yes.
not even what theory means.
But what if, the tribe decided they were sacrificing themselves and then Turtle has nothing left, so that's why he went too close.
He went let's go look at this spider.
Right. Again, theory, who
The
knows?
spider is the natural enemy of the turtle.
I think more maybe just a curiosity.
No,
Well,
maybe.
it's like that old fable, the tortoise and the spider.
Ring that button.
The look I'm getting right now, it's food for me, actually. I'm going to live an extra 5 years based on that look.
No. And think about it. If Turtle ended up roaming into the deep, 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 super deep Umbra and heard the one song, I don't know if Turtle's a he, but I'm going to use he, could have, been affected. And that brought him within calcification range.
Or Turtle fell into a massive depressive sleep and is currently residing in the Croatan tribal homeland. That's according to Umbra 1, Velvet's Shadow.
Well,
Fuck. Again, I didn't know any of that, and I was just going with the theory. But if it's in the book, then damn it.
but it's also in my book.
And there's a level of prove it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we get to do an episode like this, because fucking prove it.
Prove any of it.
Now, you had a question, Danny.
Yeah. So, second of the litany, right? Combat the worm wherever it dwells.
Yep.
If the Weaver is really the true enemy, why are we not combating the Weaver?
Well, it's
Because the guru needs their RBs.
because the litany was forged, for lack of a better, before the Weaver became a problem.
The litany uses language, which is
a
a form
Weaver-
of classification.
Certainly language is technically Weaver tools as is time. But to answer the question, is because at the time, you know, the Weaver wasn't so massively and ridiculously out of control like it is today. And now you can't, I mean, you can say whatever you want, you can make any argument you fucking want to. But you can't with a straight face honestly tell me the Weaver is such a problem today the way technology has run rampant.
I honestly, you know, I mean, I was assigned Weaver tech. I was assigned Weaver
Yeah.
in this, you know, but yes, the Weaver is the problem.
Yeah.
Period. The end.
Yeah, technology has gone crazy. But, you know, for Danny's question, you know, back when the litany was created, the Weaver wasn't the kind of problem like it is today. The Wyrm was. And I'm going to jump to a secondary point that I was going to bring up later, but hey, this is a great time. Is, you know, the Garu are not on the side of the Wild because the Wild is some sort of fucking superhero.
No.
You know, it's not like the Wild's just a great guy and he's getting a bad rap, everybody, and bullying or whatever. That's not why. It's because the Wild is losing. Mm-hmm. It's because it's the weaker kid. And again, we're not standing up for the weaker kid because it's the golly gosh right thing to do. It's to restore balance. And in that way, I posit aren't Garu really agents of the original Wyrm of balance at that point? At least, aren't they doing their job?
Oh my god, why do you do this to me?
Balance is corruption.
You can go back to balance is corruption. Oh my,
That
my
is-
head hurts. I'm about to walk out of this fucking room. Conspiracy theories.
It's not even so much a conspiracy
Hey,
theory.
it's a
question
real
to
possibility.
pose. Yeah. I mean, fighting for the Wild because the Wild is the weakest. And that's the only fucking reason. The Wild is not your friend.
Oh God.
Chaos. Wild as chaos.
Right?
Well, there's a dude who went to live with bears and got eaten by bears. Like, the Wild is not our friend.
Why would you go live with bears?
He
He watched a lot of...
nature documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saw Grizzlyman and was like, that's the thing I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't... Man...
Dude.
I don't know what lurks in the hearts of crazy.
No, that's what Joey was assigned for.
Look, there's madness on all the...
Yeah,
fucking-
you're right.
Everyone's the bad guy here.
Everyone, yes.
Across this entire table is just madness.
It's crazy. And I mean, I kind of identify with the Weaver. I really do like the Weaver.
Well, you are into spiders.
No, they're not the bad guy. But
She has 30 of them in her hair right now.
right now,
Weird, I didn't notice.
oh, well, that's because I've got my hair up. If I take it down, you'll see them. And they're all
Crazy.
named.
Oh, you should see on hatching day. It's awesome.
Gross.
They climb in her ears and lay eggs when she's asleep. And so, like, on hatching day, there's like this giant parade of spiders that come out of her skull.
Like a beard?
A little bit.
One of the interesting toys I found in the Weaver book. Back on topic.
That's what you're talking about.
Spiders, their topic.
Was chipware. Have you heard of chipware?
No, who's...
It's not a who, it's a what.
I'll say, who's Chip and what's he wearing?
It was going to go that
It's
way.
in their
or
cybernetics and
what's a weird
bionics
chip?
section.
Okay.
So it's like chips that you can install.
Okay.
And they have bonuses. So
Do they
it's
come in like Cool Ranch or...
it's 1 point for an attribution or ability. So you can get like, you know, an extra bra. And
These are fetishes.
yeah.
Wow.
What a terrible idea.
I was gonna say this. Wow.
So, like,
No,
you know
this
those
makes me think.
sci-fi movies where you could, like, you know,
Get a robot arm and all of a sudden punch through the wall.
or, like, put in a chip and suddenly, you know, have kung fu downloaded into your brain?
The Matrix.
I was trying not to say that name.
Yeah, it's not helping the case for me.
So,
But then there are physical hazards because, you know, you can injure yourself. If all of a sudden you start doing like flips and kicks and that you haven't done before, you can like rip and tear muscles.
I mean, also, you're plugging Weaver into your brain, and that's maybe not the thing you want.
Yes, and you can have psychological issues.
I would imagine so.
yeah. Well, I know that for.
Brain spiders.
And then
Ouch.
one of my favorite side effects was a Parkinsonian syndrome nicknamed the Black Shakes. Oh my god, isn't that awesome?
I don't know if awesome is the word.
I have so many reactions, and I don't know which one won't get edited out.
I'm confused now. Like, black as in not good, shakes as in
Was it like the
want
Black
fries
Plague?
with that.
Yeah, with the Parkinsonian shaking.
I think the better way to do it was
So don't hand that guy an unopened can of pop.
See, I think if you're gonna do the black shakes, I would mix like leprosy and Parkinson's. It's like you're shaking so much shit falls off.
Oh!
I mean, that's how I'd do it. I'm just.
I think that's...
You're a storyteller. You get that opportunity. Go nuts.
Is that shit you want percolating in the back of my brain before I start writing the rest of the Chronicle?
I mean,
Is that your request, sir?
absolutely not.
No, you know, I went in kind of a different way with my worm stuff. I mean, you grabbed some cool shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You know, and obviously, you know, I covered what I covered here. And, you know, you got the, you know, the Malgian Incarna, the Triadic Worm, the different urges.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's a lot to take on all by itself,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you know, and I think that's kind of great. You know, in fact, you think that, you know, the different urges and the different aspects of the Hydra, if you will, don't work together. They have their own agendas, and often they get in each other's way, which
That
is kind of
so
why
cool.
it's kind of why the apocalypse hasn't already happened.
Because they're fighting each other.
Right. They're just fucking shit
I
up
think
for each other.
they're fighting to get out of or in each other's way or out of, depending on what you're looking
Yeah,
at.
they develop their own minds and agendas, and that's pretty cool. But here's a thing, you know, if you were to free the worm, all right, and yeah, we have a listener, you know, who I've been talking to for a while, who actually ran a game where something similar happened. I don't want to give all his, I don't want to show you guys his maps or anything, but we've been talking about that, and that got me thinking about different aspects, and in ways different than what he went. But, so the question I pose here, if you were to free the worm, is the worm able to heal? Or is the worm still nuts? If it were to shed its skin oh, cool, you know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Is it like that scenario where I'm okay because my skin is shed, or is crazy just crazy now?
Me personally, I think it's past that point of healing. If you let it go, I think it would just be in its own way.
But what is that on a scale of Celestines?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
knows?
I mean, we're dealing with Celestine, so that's
That's just kind of how I would interpret it, but like, obviously I'm not a writer.
Well, and you want to go further down that rabbit hole, right? If the worm is healed, all right, you cut those webs and he shakes himself loose and has shed the skin in the process. It is once again the worm of balance. Okay, number one, do the Garu begin openly assisting the new returned, if you will, balance worm, acknowledging that it's now, quote, on their side? What happens to the spirals? Certainly you don't just wave a wand and cure crazy, but do some of them fanatically follow, you know, Mother, even though Mother Worm, great, is now on the other team?
I think they would fanatically follow.
I think you get half and half.
Yeah, at least.
And speaking of that half, what about the skin? Worm sheds its skin. What about the skin?
What's left over?
Yeah, I mean, you have this being that has become the Hydra. And by shedding the skin, it's just the worm again, but the skin of the Hydra is still there hanging off part of those webs and mouthpiece, right? Does all of that... I mean, you think of the worship that, like, the spirals and the Famor have bestowed upon the triadic worm, but the beast of war, the eater of souls, does that continue to live on through that skin and grow into something else?
Probably.
Does it become sentient? Does it gain its own level of...
And now you have the quartet instead of the triad. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Or a all new player on the board altogether.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Yeah.
It becomes the fourth thing now. Enjoy dealing with this. Hey, the worm's back. Also this now.
It's like the fifth level of Jumanji over here.
And again, does freeing the worm, is that a good thing to the Garu? Because there's got to be some fucking balance done. I think maybe it targets the Weaver.
Oh yeah. It.
Directly and exclusively.
Yep.
Yeah. It's got a score to settle.
Things are out of balance.
Yep. But I think it has
The
a
worm's
score
back.
to...
It's balanced. It's now time to fix that side.
And see, I don't think it's even, I mean, it has a score to settle, certainly. But I think, and again, the fuck knows, because we're just talking about, I'm just talking about my ass right now. You know, but you free the worm, and if the worm is fixed by that, you know, shuts the skin and it's fixed, I think it's beyond that shit. I think it's about, let's get back to work. We have shit to do. Come on. We've already been working overtime. You can have a vacation and you might have one point in it.
Now, does that start another Impergium?
Well, that's really up to the Garu at that point. And I'd advocate for it. I mean, just frankly, I would advocate for a new Impergium. But I'm not a factor in this.
Yeah, you're nowhere near Celestine level. Sorry.
Well, I'm not good. Well, you're whatever's above that because I'm the fucking storyteller.
I was gonna say. He can decide that if he really wanted to.
Worm, Weaver, Wild, Porter.
You're the fourth player?
No, I'm the first player on the level above.
Oh,
Fuck.
Jesus.
I'm the one writing it. No, seriously though. I think possibly, but I think that depends on the Garnation's reaction to this scenario that we're building there.
Again, I think that you'd split that line down the middle too.
I think you probably would, because who's going to trust that this worked?
Exactly.
I mean, honestly.
You're going to be some fanatics who are going to follow, and you got other fanatics who are like, we already don't trust this shit.
I'm saying Stargazers for sure.
Okay.
Ooh.
Possibly the Black Furies, because they're acknowledging that the worm has gone through a rebirth and is back to the original purpose. I think they see that way.
Yeah.
I see the children of Gaia.
Yep.
So now you're talking about a tribal civil war?
I don't know if it would be a civil war.
What's so civil about war anyway?
Oh, God.
Okay, so we'll just call it a tribal war.
Well, I mean, it's not so different than what's going on now. It's just,
Right.
Yeah, probably.
That's
Because if
nuts.
I'm the Silver Fangs, or the Shadow Lords, or the Red Talons, or the Get of Fenris, or the Wendigo, or probably the Fianna, I see this little coalition of morons, because that's how they're going to see it. That's how
yeah.
they're seeing it. You know?
Yes.
And going, wow, they fell to the worm.
Yeah.
We have to kill the worm wolves, because we don't need Black Spiral Dancers parts 2, 3, and 4. I think that's what happens. I think they're wrong, probably.
But
I understand them not trusting it.
Right.
Now, okay, so if the worm sheds its skin and gets healed and takes up its original balance, agenda.
I hope this is interesting to people. We just went off on a thing because we knew it was going to go somewhere. We just didn't know where. Sorry, go ahead.
And so, Children of Gaia, Black Fury, Stargazers,
Maybe Actina?
maybe Akina, fall in line and say, yeah, okay, we're down. Do they become worm tainted?
Well, no.
And what does that look like?
They don't, because
Yeah.
the new worm, the worm of balance, doesn't taint.
I was gonna say,
Right.
that's what I was
It's
going
not a
to say.
corruptor.
It's no longer
Yeah.
taint, But that doesn't mean
Would
the
they-
other half of the tribes don't see that.
Or believe it, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, would they, smell of the worm? Would they?
I think they'd smell of something different.
Okay.
It'd be something new entirely.
Right.
Because what we call of the worm is that stink of corruption.
Right.
Which would no longer apply in this case.
Yes. I know it wouldn't be a corruption scent.
It would apply to what I will now call the husk.
Right.
Which would be the remnant skin representative
man.
of the the urges and triadic worm.
So, I mean, I think they're
Someone read a story on that. Holy shit.
So I think there could be an argument made to the other side that it's not corruption and it's not wormwolves,
Well, and I agree with you, but I'm taking the position that convince that to a red talon. Like I
Convince
fucking
a red
dare you.
talon of anything.
Sort of my point.
And
I think you're going to have a hard enough time. Honestly, maybe you're going to have a tough time with the Black Fury, the Actina, and the Sheldon Gaia. I think the Stargazers are just enough that they would be open to the concept.
Yeah.
But even selling it to the others, because at the end of the day, you're saying, hey, this threat that you've been fighting literally forever, forever, is suddenly your buddy. Who do you float that argument to? You know what I mean?
And
It's a tall order.
it really is a tall
You are
order.
not convincing again Fenris if the worm is on your side today.
No.
It's never going to happen.
No, and I think maybe if the worm just kind of, this is such a weird statement, if the worm just did the balancy thing and stayed out of, the Get Fenris's way to a certain point.
I think nothing short of an avatar of Fenris, or perhaps even an avatar of Gaia herself, going, listen guys, it's cool now. The teams have changed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take. as far as
That
I'm
really
concerned.
is gonna, yeah. And that's so far-fetched.
Yeah, but, we ran down a rabbit hole because, full disclosure, and I said this to you guys,
Yeah.
maybe 20 minutes before we started recording, that there was no way we had a full show under the debate of whose fault it was, because we're going to come to that consensus goddamned immediately.
Yeah,
Pretty
we
damn close.
knew whose fault it was.
Right, and it's like, how we can't even make a show of that, but I was confident that, me digging into Wyrm, you digging into Weaver, that we would come up with something interesting just by our musings through what we read and taking a position. So I hope that's worked. I hope this has been entertaining.
And
I've enjoyed it, but
See,
I've
it's been
enjoyed
fun.
it.
And I'll say this. Knowing we're coming to that consensus, I give credit to Joey. You gave hell of arguments, knowing what Porter has to say and what we were all going to say was going against Weaver. You gave compelling and awesome arguments, and I applaud you.
Thank you. I try to be,
Well,
Thorough?
You put up a good front, especially knowing you were wrong.
Oh yeah.
And that's where
I
And
went into
that's
it.
my point.
I went into it knowing I was on the losing side, and I have to be a warrior ballerina.
Well done.
yes.
I have to do some fancy dancing.
I was going to combine those two words,
No.
as I do, but I couldn't find a way to do it without the word wiener coming up. And I
No.
didn't want to accidentally insult. But I believe that's our show.
Okay.
We got some Cubs Corner or not?
Yes, we actually do.
Let's corner it up. Time for Cubs Corner.
Yes.
Danny, get in the corner.
Oh, no. All right, I don't see any more rice. We're good.
Oh my god, you're going to answer one of these.
I hope not. How am I supposed to give information to new people when I'm still a new person?
I think that's kind of the point.
Right?
Great.
What do we got, Jonestown?
Why don't individuals stay within their own tribal packs? And does the diversity help form better fighting packs?
Yes.
I think that's the answer, just yes.
Those are...
Two vastly different questions.
Yes, they are, and they're kind of complicated. First of all, there's the implication that you were in an all-tribal pack in the first place.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the case.
And I think we should explain a little bit on how Cubs get into a tribe. so that it's not like you shift and your buddies show up and say, hey, come with us.
We need to rite of passage, and that's when. But ideally, you know, in a perfect world, you know, let's take Joe. Let's take your Echo punches the mom as an example.
Yes.
Okay, Echo goes through her first change. She is calmly and politely taken to the sept, where she is told about what she is and about how the world works and the triad, you know, and she's told about the plight of the wild and how Gaia is dying, and she's taught all the things she needs to know. And then her and a group of other children of Gaia who are also cubs and happen to have been nearby, they go off and they do a rite of passage, and they come back with Unicorn's blessing, fully fledged members of the Gur Nation and the Children of Gaia.
Yes.
Nothing about this game is perfect.
Right.
It
You
is
say,
None of that
where's,
is the norm.
where's the curveball here? I'm waiting.
You know, it's more likely that Echo goes through her first change, and someone has picked her up to take her to the nearest child of Gaia sept. Only they didn't make it there. They were shot in the face by the enemy well before they even found Echo. So Echo's wandering the streets unsure of what she is, and someone else, maybe a Fianna, finds her and drags her to the nearest anything, because we can't have you not knowing what you're doing, running around the streets in Krynos.
Covered in blood.
Right? So maybe it's a bone gnawer cairn. And the bone gnawers go, hey, yo, this guy's crazy. It's great. Hey, we got anybody else? Oh, there's, you know, there's Big Denny, and there's Lisa, and there's the Gooch.
The Gooch.
And, they pack now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And, you know, you're sent off by your rite of passage, and your respective tribal totems choose you, and that's how the world is. Because the world is not a perfect place.
The world is messy.
Is that about?
Yeah.
That's,
I know I took a lot of examples and had some fun there. Just want to make sure I actually answer the question.
But yeah, so, you know, to assume that you have a tribal pack to begin with.
It's a big assumption.
Yeah, it's a huge assumption, and frankly, I think it's irresponsible and reckless.
How so?
To run a game like that, you know, under that assumption.
Okay.
I mean, if you're running a game with new players, and you're saying, well, this is your tribal pack, this is how you start off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in terms of, yeah, no, I agree.
You're giving them...
You are forcing those players to limit themselves to a particular thing.
Yes.
I agree with you, you're right.
And it's one of those, if they're in a, quote, tribal pack, and they don't want to be that tribe, or they want to not be in a tribal pack, to educate them as this is how it's done in the beginning. That's wrong, because there is no one-size-fits-all way. It's, you know, Donnie and the Gooch, and...
that's my new favorite pack.
Yeah, what's that pack's name?
Doesn't
I'm just
matter.
curious.
It doesn't matter. Please.
It might be Donnie and the Gooch.
Donnie and the Gooches.
Okay, so let's
He's
move
not
on.
multiple people.
They can be multiple Gooches.
It'd be Goochai for one, and number two, just
No.
stifle it, Edith.
So let's move on to the second question. Does diversity help form better fighting packs?
That's a weird question.
And yes
Whoever
and
asked,
no.
You're a weirdo. Stop being weird. No, that's just fun for me. I know who wrote it.
I'll ask you off air.
Yes.
I mean, that depends. And also, is that all you want? And no is the answer to that question. That's not all you want. You know, if, look, a Get a Fenris, and I don't care which Get a Fenris, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Your average Get a Fenris
Okay.
will outperform any two average children of Gaia in combat.
Yes.
So, in that respect, if it's a pack of children of Gaia, yeah, swap them out for better combat. So, you know, yeah, we'll get rid of you, you, and you. I'll take a Stargazer, a Get a Fenris, and a Wendigo. Done.
Yeah.
But that's if that's all you're looking for, and that's not all you're looking for. You know, in a pack, you want a balance.
And
yeah, you want muscle, but you're all muscle because you're all fucking guard in the first place.
Yeah.
But what about the spiritual side? What about, there's the reason they're the auspices.
Mm-hmm.
Those roles need to be filled as well.
Yeah, 10-foot tall murder machines. I mean, we've said that many times.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you take fighting out of the sentence or question,
Okay.
it makes a much easier question to answer. Does diversity help form a better pack? Yes.
Yeah, you can have a pack of all hounds.
You can.
Oh yeah, of course you can. But is it the smart
Should
thing?
you? No.
That's the point.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the A-Team. There's a spot for everybody. We got Hannibal, we got Face, we got...
Bring it Sue.
B.A. and Murdoch.
Yeah, but there's a role for everybody.
Frankie Dishpan for the last season.
Oh, callback.
Okay.
She did not appreciate that 18 trivia.
Don't.
Seriously, you're going to sue.
Yeah, stop. Music.
You are paying for the lawyer. You're laughing.
You're paying.
I hope the mortgage is paid up, sir.
Not even close.
You have some explaining to do.
So use the donate button.
Yeah, help me,
'cause we're
please.
going to need a legal fund. Okay. So that was two different questions.
Yes, it was.
Would we like to do technically a third question?
Would I?
Would you?
I guess it depends what the question is.
Also
Yeah.
depends on our runtime.
Yeah. Well, I think now.
Just like no.
We'll save it for next time.
Yeah, okay, we're going to save
Okay.
it for next time. So hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. You know it means the world to us. Be sure to hit up our website. Help us build and grow this new digital cairn we're working on. It means the world to us. Don't forget that Amazon portal because it will cost you nothing to help us, and this shit ain't cheap.
And the donate button because
Danny's gonna get us sued.
Danny is going to get us sued. So,
Please don't sue us.
for me, for producer Joey, for Daniel Tyson, Jessica and Tom who aren't here the entirety of Summer Rain Studio, thank you so much for your support, for listening. Tell everyone you've ever heard of. Get us rageacrosstheinternet.com and be excellent to each other. Take care.
Rage Across the Internet's music is It's Into the Fog by Darren Curtis, shared with a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 unported license. For details, check out the information under the podcast.